Right, perfect. Right, guys, so I am here with Jimmy Fell. Jimmy is going to be fighting on Cage Warriors Academy Southeast 23 on April 13th, Charters Hall in Colchester. Jimmy, how's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very, very good. So, Jimmy, we've been trying to get this done. Sorry for yesterday.
No, that's all right,
I
mate.
was feeling rough. So, Jimmy, you're fighting Hamza Hindi on the card. So, correct me, originally, were you going to be fighting at 155? This fight's going to be at 145. Were you originally at 155?
No, I think my brother was going to fight at 155.
Oh, it was your brother. Okay, so both of you were going to be on the card.
Yeah, we were originally, yeah, but Alfie's been lifting and eating a lot, so he's really heavy at the moment. He's not really training MMA at the moment. He's just lifting. So, yeah, so that didn't happen.
Fair enough. Is he going to get cut back into the MMA or?
Probably, yeah. He's very sort of sporadic. He'll come in and have a fight or two, and then he'll disappear for a little while, do other things, and then he'll come back again. So.
No, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. So, what about yourself then? Obviously, we're about under sort of 3 weeks to go now, around the 3 week mark.
Yeah.
What do these last 3 weeks look like for you?
Well, this is when everything's sort of peaking. Everything's at its hardest now. The sparring shit, I hate it. The cardio, the lifting, everything just sucks at the moment. It's this is the hardest bit. But once we get this done, it's all fun.
Yeah. So, are you still doing lifting at the minute, or?
Yeah, we sort of change it up a little bit. I start doing more sort of explosive stuff, things like that, rather than sort of real heavy lifting. But it's still not very nice.
Yeah. So, what is your what's your least favorite part of fight camp?
Funnily enough, it's actually the sparring because we do loads of sparring at our gym, loads of sort of light sparring, sort of playing around with techniques, trying to play with new stuff. But when we have fight camp sparring come up, we just get shark tanked constantly by different guys, different styles. I'm one of the smallest guys in the gym. Most of the guys I spar with are sort of over 80 kilos.
Right.
So at 66, so it's just me getting my ass handed to me every night. It's frustrating. It's unpleasant, but it's what we do. We have our hardest rounds in the gym, and then the fight's easy.
No, fair enough, mate. So, for people that don't know what shark tanking is, do you want to explain exactly what that would be?
Yeah, sure. Shark tanking is basically where I will come out and I will spar with someone. I'll do a round with them, and then immediately I'll get a fresh opponent in, and I will spar with them. They'll go out, and then I'll get another fresh opponent in. So I'm constantly sparring with fresh people who have got different styles, different ways of doing things, and I'm exhausted, getting gradually more and more tired, and they know exactly what to do with me.
Yeah.
So it really puts you on the back foot.
So when you are doing the Shark Tank, is it would they sort of change it up? So say you're doing a lot of stand up one person, will the next person come in try and shoot for a double leg, or is it just whatever they? Is it just an open spar?
It's sort of just an open spar. We sort of try and encourage them to try and mimic my opponent to a certain degree, but obviously everyone has a different style, so it still mixes it up quite a bit.
Good, mate.
Sorry,
Good. So
sorry, mate. Give me
yeah,
two. Dogs just come in.
no, go ahead.
Sorry about that, mate.
No worries. What dog you got?
I've got two. I've got a Lab Dalmatian cross, and I've got a Milo's a rescue. He's a mongrel of all sorts. So,
But well, he's a scrapper like you, yeah.
yeah, he'd be
There you
climbing
go.
all over me if I let him in. So,
No problem, mate. So, talking about your the training, your weight, how big is the cut to 145?
I don't really cut at all, mate. To be honest with you, I train right down to 66. I might, depending on how things go, I might have to sweat off a kilo the night before, but I don't really cut weight at all. To be honest with you, it's not pleasant. I don't enjoy doing it. I've
Yeah.
done it once. I don't want to do it again. So,
No, fair enough. And would you say 145 your home? Would you potentially be looking to go up to 155 or?
I think I probably could, but to be honest, I don't really see any reason to. Unless there was a really big fight there. I just don't see any point, to be honest with you. And considering I'm not really cutting to 145, 155, there are going to be some big guys there. So possibly 135, because if I did have to start cutting, but I don't think 155 is going to be me, to be honest with you.
Well, that's it, mate. That's fair enough. So, you're how old?
I'm 25.
So, you're absolutely fine. You could really go either way with this. So that's fair enough. So your opponent, Hamza Himdi, what do you know about him?
Well, only from obviously seeing him fight, I know he's a fairly dangerous striker, but he's fairly wild. He throws sort of punches from strange angles, throws a lot of open shots. You know, it can be quite difficult to read. And I know he's got a really nice double leg takedown as well. So we're preparing for that. To be honest with you, I think I could beat him anywhere. I can beat him on the ground. I can beat him standing. So we're just going to see what he gives us on the night, and we're going to take it from there, really.
No, that's fair enough, mate. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, with websites like Tapology, Sherdog, they're not always the most up to date. So, as per Tapology, it says your last bout was it June of last year. Is that still the case, or have you fought since then?
No, that is right. I should have had 2 or 3 fights since then, but second half of last year, I had a string of injuries that kept me out since June. So,
Okay, what sorts of injuries, are they all sort of healed up, or?
yeah, no, they're all fine now. First one, I tore my hamstring, put a grade 1 tear in my hamstring, which put me out of a fight. Then meant to have a fight soon after that, and ended up getting a concussion, so that kept me out of that. And then I was meant to go to the IMAF World Championships in November, and about 3 weeks out from that, I re-tore my hamstring and put a grade 2 tear in it, which kept me out for another 2-3 months, really. So.
But these last this training camp, it's all just sort of come together nicely.
Yeah, no, it's all gone fine. To be honest, it was just a bit unlucky, you know.
No, mate.
There, and then I re-tore it again. You know, it happens, but we made sure we've kept it, you know, sort of looked after this time. So
Yeah.
no problems.
No, mate, it does happen. Sort of going on to the concussion conversation, I had a good chat yesterday with, sorry, no, it was the day before, maybe, with Molly Lindsay. She was set to fight on the card. She's pulled out with concussion. And she's very honest about it. She said, you know, she's 21 years old. Why put yourself through that right now, especially in the amateur game? Be smart. Exactly. The amateur game's only getting bigger and bigger, so being smart with it. Obviously, you come into this fight, you know, you've had, you know, that time off. What's been the main sort of focus within that time? Obviously, when you're tearing hamstrings and you're getting concussions, was it a lot of rest? Was it different types of? Did you try and adapt different types of training? Like, what were those months like?
To be honest with you, it was just more trying to get the injury healed as quickly and as thoroughly as we possibly could. And then I've added some sort of different weight training. I never used to do much weight training. I don't enjoy it really. We started adding that into my routine just to sort of help strengthen the muscles a little bit more, add some stability there. And I make sure I'm a lot more sort of religious with my flexibility work as well, yoga and stretching, things like that. I think that's just made the difference, just being a bit more disciplined with things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you enjoy yoga? Because I've done it a couple of times and it is tough, mate.
No, I hate it.
Yeah, it is so hard. When you see people half your size, half your age, whatever, or double your age even, just doing the things that you cannot do, it is demeaning.
Yeah, it's one of the things. I just find it really boring stretching. Same with lifting as well. I just find it dull. I find it boring. It's just so monotonous. I just can't get into it at all. But just have to be more disciplined with it now. That's the main thing, really.
Well, that's it. As you do this, you know, you will continue to grow. Is the end game going professional? Like, what is like? Would you do? So, like, do you work as well alongside training?
Yeah, no, I work as well. I run a business. I run my family's business. Professional, you know, it's always something you look towards. But to be honest, at the minute, I've got such a big year this year planned out that professional is just not even on my mind at the moment. I know this fight on Cage Warriors is it's a title element where it's a #1 contender fight. So hopefully get a title shot out of this. Contenders in May. I'm hoping to get a title shot on that as well. Then look and go to the IMF European Championships in June, and then I want to go to the Worlds in November. So, you know, hopefully coming out this year with possibly 4 titles, 4 championships. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. I'm not really looking to go pro right now, but you know, at the end of this year, we never know. We'll see what happens.
Like I said, mate, like I just said previously, with the amateur games just getting bigger and better. Like, you know, a few years ago there was no amateur game, especially in Europe. So the fact that you can now walk away with 4 titles, you know, respect from respective organisations, you know, completely fair play to you, mate. So, you know, you were talking to me on Instagram about, you know, the team and what you lot get up to. So tell us a little bit about, you know, your gym, where you're based, name of the gym, everything like that. Give us a little sort of run through of a daily, you know, an average day for yourself at your gym.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously are training from out of Blue Wave. We sort of hired us based off of Unit 1, which is a Muay Thai gym and a strength and conditioning gym. Sort of an average day for me, depending on how I'm feeling, I get up early in the mornings, go down to the gym first thing, about 6 o'clock. I get my cardio in there, and then I start doing my lifting or my explosive, whatever I'm doing that day. If I haven't got a Muay Thai class in the evening, I'll go upstairs, do some striking as well in the morning, head straight off to work from there. Obviously, when I finish work, I'll go home, get something to eat, look after the dogs. straight back out to the gym for either jiu-jitsu or then Muay Thai and MMA. So training sort of twice a day, doing 2 or 3 sessions each time. You know, I'm not getting back until 9:30 in the evening. It's a pretty dull life at the moment. You know, it's literally gym and work, and that's about it.
Yeah.
As far as the sort of the gym setup goes, sort of last night, for example, I went to gym left about 6, got there, done a Muay Thai class, immediately straight into the MMA class afterwards, doing all our drills and everything like that, and then Shark Tank sparring until about 9:30. So that's pretty much how life looks at the moment. It's not
and
very
then you
pleasant.
say, mate, it's not even like in the middle of the day, you know, you're still working full-time. So what is it your family business is?
It's a flooring business.
So I mean, it's still pretty active work, I imagine.
Not for me, no. I tend to just run the shop, sit behind a computer all day, but it's still, you know, obviously running the business is quite stressful, or it can be.
Yeah, I can imagine. That must be, you know, pretty tough as well. Like you're in quite a static mood then throughout the daytime. You know, in the morning you're explosive, in the middle you're static, and evening you're back to explosive. Is it hard to sort of get yourself out of office mindset into the gym, or as soon as you're in there, you know what you need to be done?
It can be hard sometimes, yeah. Some days I'm right up for it. Other days I just don't want to go. But you just got to go anyway. It's one of the things. You just got to stay disciplined with it. I think having a sort of a sedentary job does help slightly with sort of recovery, things like that. You know, I think I'd really struggle a lot more if I had a much more physical job. My brother, he does the physical side of things, and I know he struggles sometimes. It's just one of them things you have to deal with, unfortunately. Luckily, you know, my family, they know what I do. They support it. They always help me out. You know, if I need extra time off work to get extra training in or get some extra recovery in, they're always happy to help out as much as they can. So, you know, I don't think I could do it without them supporting me. So,
No, that's brilliant to hear, mate. It's nice that you know you got that added level of support. So, do you know how many sort of people you have coming down on the 13th?
I'm hoping to have about 60. I've sold nearly all my tickets. I've only got 3 or 4 left, and I had about 60 tickets to go. So,
Oh, brilliant, mate. So, what's the plan after the fight? Is it chill around Essex for a bit?
I think we're going to have a week just sort of toning it down a little bit, and then straight back into fight camp for contenders in May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the thing. When you've got your year planned out, I suppose
Yeah.
it's you know there's no sort of foot off the gas. It's constant.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough year, but you know, it's all going this year. It's all going to happen. So we just got to make it work now.
No, brilliant, mate. That's good to hear. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time. So what's the day like for you? What you got planned for the rest of the day?
Not really. It's my day off work today, so I'm going to speak to you. Got to nip in, just do a couple more bits at work, and then we're going to head to the gym to try and get an extra session in today, and then got jiu-jitsu tonight. So.
No, brilliant, mate. So would next week be the sort of final hard week? Because what's fight week? What's that like for you?
Sorry, say that again.
So obviously next week is that going to be the final? Well, so you've got 3 weeks left. So the next 2 weeks, the final one. As you don't really have to cut much weight on fight week, what does your fight week usually look like?
To be honest, I still just get the runs in, and I still do sort of like my jiu-jitsu, everything like that, just make sure that's all sharp. The sparring, we'll still probably do a little bit of sparring, but it'll just be real light sparring, nothing heavy, just sharpening up, just working on timing, things like that. I still like to keep working out just to obviously keep the weight down. You know, even though I diet down to it, it still is quite a close, I still come in quite close. But yeah, it's fairly chilled really, it's just sharpening things up. As far as heavy week, I'll probably do next week and then possibly the week after, so the week before the fight is heavy. But we'll play it by ear. We'll see how it goes. We tend to just sort of play it by ear. We don't really plan it too rigidly.
No, mate, fair enough. It sounds like you've got a good steady balance there. So, sort of final question from me is, you said you could outstrike and outgrapple. And did you have a prediction for the fight, or do you never do that?
No, I don't really predict, to be honest with you. Same thing with game plans. We don't really like game plans too much because, you know, if I plan on taking him down, he's been working on his takedown defence, you know, that can all go wrong on the night. You never know. Yeah. We just have a couple of sort of techniques that we're going to work on, a few little sort of principles we're going to work to, and we're going to see what he gives us, you know. We're just going to play it by ear on the night.
That's it, mate. But it sounds like it's going to be an exciting fight. You know, you've got a title shot on the line, well, a contendership on the line with this. So, you know, I really do wish you the best, mate. I'll be there watching. And, you know, mate, thank you for the time today. I'm really rooting for you.
For the call.
No worries, Jimmy. Have yourself a good day. Okay, I'll speak to you soon.
Anyway, cheers.